psychoactive. Won't be your captive. Won't be your pawn, your thrall, your detainee. Won't be your bed bouncer. Who is normal? Won't be jacket strapped, captivated. I won't be capsized. I'm activated. Reckless flex, overly combative. 'Cause I'm done being your captive. Can't snap, won't snap, hyperreactive. I'm no one's captive. Get up, step back, what is normal? Break free. I'm no one's captive. No dead weight, freak out, static inertia. Welcome to the new normal. Can't be your pawn, your thrall, your detainee. I'm not your bed bouncer. 'Cause who is normal? No wonder you're padded wall submissive. You straight jacket trudge. You hesitated. There's a new dawn and now I'm endless strong. I won't be your captive. I'm activated. I won't be held anyone's captive. Not again. Never again. No red pills, blue pills, prolonged sabbaticals. I'm done. So done. Padded walls, bed spins. In flux. Highly reactive. Don't snap, won't snap.
Well, we will get started. Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is another episode of Project Console.
Won't be your captain.
I'm my panelist to introduce himself.
Yo, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. Glad to be on someone else's cast. It is a beautiful thing to not have to run everything and let someone else do it. You sit down and just show up. It's lovely.
Yeah, glad to have you. Glad to be here. So, some things happened this week. I think we'll just jump right into it. So, the new Tears of the Kingdom trailer came out this week, showing off some of the gameplay elements, showing off the world. It was basically a similar trailer to the 2017 Breath of the Wild trailer. So, they've been holding this game close to their chests, similar to what they were doing with, or somebody bring this up, similar to what they were doing with God of War Ragnarok, just holding the game close to their chests, which honestly I kind of wish more games would kind of do this, because one of the problems that a lot of these AAA games have had these past, I'd say probably 10 to 15 years, is that they keep showing it, teasing it for like 2 or 3 years, and you just kind of get sick of seeing the game. Like, you just essentially just like, yeah, whatever. And then, and then the game comes out, and then it's nowhere near the hype that they were drumming up for like the past couple of years. No, big offender of this was Destiny. Obviously, Watch Dogs is another game. The first Watch Dogs is another game that comes to mind. Pertaining to just teasing the game for several years. Spider-Man. Sometimes, some of these games turn out to be good. Sometimes it just turn out to just be disappointing. BioShock Infinite's another game. But yeah, what did you think of that final trailer, Mr. Red Fox? What were your initial impressions?
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch the final trailer because I didn't give a shit. Yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm underwhelmed. I don't care. Like, they got me with the first game because I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And I played it and I realized, okay, there's no traditional Zelda dungeons. You have item destruction and I know some fans are going to be like, it doesn't bother me. It's realistic. It's a fucking video game. It's not supposed to be realistic that your weapons break in the middle of a fight. So you can take that argument and throw it out the window. Run it over a few times. In other words, ace it. It's dead. So for me, I just kind of like, I'm underwhelmed. I don't care. This game looks like what the original Breath of the Wild should have been. Like, more of a direction of the stuff that should have been in the original game. But they still haven't gone far enough to make it the type of Legend of Zelda game I'd really go gaga for. You know what I mean? So, I know this game's going to sell well. People are going to love it. It's probably going to sell more than the original game. But for me, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
There you go. I was honest.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, if you're into the new way of Zelda, the direction that's going in right now.
If you like old school Zelda, this game ain't for you. If you're one of those new people who hasn't played a Zelda games for years, if Breath of the Wild is the first Legend of Zelda game you ever played, first of all, I feel sorry for you. Because in my opinion, the series has been, and hopefully will one day be, much better than it is than Breath of the Wild or its sequel. But if you hadn't played a Legend of Zelda and the first one you play is your gateway Legend of Zelda is Breath of the Wild, I also feel sorry for you because eventually one day they will go back to the original standard of this franchise and you're going to be, what the fuck is this? Because Breath of the Wild isn't a Legend of Zelda game. Neither is its sequel. These are not Legend of Zelda games. They are Assassin's Creed, Far Cry games, and using the Legend of Zelda tropes to an extent in the setting. But this is not a Legend of Zelda game. There's a severe lack of dungeons. Link doesn't have a panoply of shit that he's carrying around. You're not going into dungeons finding unique and items that you're using to traverse the world in interesting ways. Whatever.
Yeah. They showed off in the trailer what looked like could be dungeons or possibly could be dungeons.
I mean, look, man. If the game comes out and it has dungeons and has more traditional things, I'll probably get it because I have money. You know, I'm an adult. I have money. Like I'm not gonna buy it ever. And hey, look, this isn't like, oh, I'm so poor. I have money. All right, I can buy shit. But that being said, I mean, I'm like, okay, I bought Breath of the Wild because it had been 10 years since I had played since a new Legend of Zelda game. I was like, oh man, I have to have something to play on my Switch. And the Switch had just come out. At this point, I'm over, like, I haven't turned my Switch on in years at this point. I haven't even, like, when I finally do turn it on, I'm gonna have to get all these updates that are gonna have to go to it because I haven't touched it in so long. So, like, I've digitized most of my retro collection of Legend of Zelda games, so I have very little incentive to play this one. But hey,
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I am here.
Well, like I said,
Something only I can do.
one of the problems I have with big trailers like this is like, people have already shown
You haven't even played the game yet, man.
It's like, it's not even out yet, guys.
Yeah.
Calm down. It's not
I
out
mean,
yet.
remember how Nintendo fucked us with Breath of the Wild, where there was like major shit missing in that game?
But you
Like, why do we always go with like, oh no, this is the best thing ever? It's like, look, let the game come out,
Final hope.
and it'll live or die on its own merits. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I want the game to be good, but I mean, if the previous installments of this title is anything worth
Link.
thinking about, I'm sorry, Breath of the Wild just isn't really that good to me. Let me put it this way, if the final boss fight between Ganon and Link is better than that bullshit they did in Breath of the Wild, I'll be okay. I'll say it's good. Because whether you like Breath of the Wild or not, no one can make the argument that the fight between Ganon and Link, I mean the second phase of that battle where literally you just ride your horse and Zelda's on the back with you shooting light arrows at Ganon, and then when his weak spot is exposed, it literally, there's like, oh, there's his weak spot. You have to use the horse jump, slow down, and hit him with the energy with your super arrow. I'm like, this is fucking lazy.
Yeah, I just think
Y'all blew your load on that open world, which was empty and useless as fuck, and then just kind of like, you didn't have shit left for the rest of the game. That's what happened.
Well, the thing is, they just probably that last boss fight was pretty was a letdown. But yeah, I think that he had somebody go in there and be like, look, can't sit around and make games forever. At some point,
We got to get this shit out. Yeah, we got to get this shit out. The Switch needs a launch title. That's what happened. And anyone who tells me, oh no, come on, we know what happened. The Switch needed a launch title. Breath of the Wild fit the bill, and that's why that game was technically had a lot of issues when it first came out. That's why it was crashing on the Switch. That's why. All right.
Ran fine on the Wii U though.
What?
I said it ran fine on the Wii U though.
Yeah, because it was made for the Wii U.
Yeah.
It was made for that console. They ported it over to the Switch and it ran like ass. So yeah, like I'm not like, oh my god, Breath of the sequel. I'm like, look, if the sequel has the shit that was missing in the previous game, great. But I don't think like here's the thing: Nintendo doesn't learn their lesson. Paper Mario has been shit for years because Nintendo can't seem to learn their lessons. All right, they follow, and to be fair, they follow the money. All right, they made a lot of money with a mediocre Legend of Zelda game, which is Breath of the Wild. So they made money. So they're going to keep on, they're going to make more mediocre Legend of Zelda games in the vein of Breath of the Wild. Now, for me, Breath of the Wild was a mediocre, trash ass Legend of Zelda game. But a lot of people are like, it's the best Legend of Zelda ever. It revitalized the franchise. Legend of Zelda was never like a dull franchise. It's always done relatively well. Like, what the fuck? that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
People want to pretend like it's like Fire Emblem, where like, is this going to be the last Legend of Zelda game? Legend of Zelda was never like that, and I'm tired of people making that like they want to make it sound like like 15 years ago, Iwata walked into the room and was like, "Look, Legend of Zelda team, you fuck it up. You get one more chance or you're fired." Like what? No. Like
I
what the
mean,
fuck? No.
it's even kind of dull as Skyward Sword was. Skyward Sword was still well received by critically when it
Yeah, the,
came
the
out.
problem with Skyward Sword is that they spent so much time working on the fucking they spent so much time working on the fucking motion control that the base game suffered. That's the problem with Skyward Sword.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, it's not that it's a bad game. It's like, oh man, could you imagine how much shit they could have put in that game if they didn't have to work on the motion control? It would have been amazing.
yeah.
Because a lot of the dungeons in Skyward Sword, like the Chronos dungeon, like it's like, man, the idea of being able to like change time in a dungeon like that in a certain areas, I'm like, man, if only they didn't have to deal with that motion control bullshit, that could have been a really awesome dungeon. Unfortunately, they had to work on that shit, and it just was kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever. But as far as the sequel, I'm like, I don't think they learned their fucking lesson. I think it's still gonna be the same bullshit we had with Skyward Sword, where core stuff is missing. And we're gonna have these fucking fanboys. It's amazing. I'm like, why don't we actually critique them and not just be like, this is the best Legend of Zelda ever? I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be the best Legend of Zelda ever. I think it's gonna be okay. They probably will have more features. They'll probably have actual real dungeons for once. Cause there's parts of Breath of the Wild where it's like, man, like when you go to free up the Goron Megazord, right? There's part of that when you go to Death Mountain. There's like a part outside where we have to free that fucking Goron, who's the descendant of the Goron champion from back in the day, who can like turn himself into a shield. And I'm like, wow, like you have to shoot him into different crystal and structures and destroy them so that you can get through an area using like mines and turrets. And I'm like, this is a really cool concept. This would have been really good in a dungeon. Too bad they put it out here because they didn't have time to make a fucking dungeon. Yeah, I don't want anyone saying, "Oh, you didn't play the full game." No, I played the full game. I totally understand what they were going for. I don't.
Didn't you 100% that game? You did all the shrines too, didn't you?
I did all the shrines. I did 4 runs of that game. I did a run where I found all the seeds. I did a run where I got all the shrines. I did a run where I what was the other one? What was the last run? I did a run where I just got off the plateau and then went to Hyrule Castle and fought like the 4 different forms of Ganon, plus his OG form that's out there. Like, I have played the shit out of Breath of the Wild, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not that good of a like. It was like, it's amazing. It's not that good. It's at best, in hindsight, just kind of like take a step back and look at it, as not a fan of the franchise. It's like I'd put it at like a 75, 80.
Yeah,
It's not that
actually,
good.
I would actually. Like, as a game, yeah, I'd put it about 75, 80. I wouldn't. This is not 10 out of 10 game.
No.
Yeah, that's probably where I would put it.
I'm gonna
Uh,
say something mean. My favorite Legend of Zelda game, the one that like the most traditional, old school. I'm still gonna say the damn near most perfect Legend of Zelda game to me. Still Link to the Past. Perfect length. It's open enough without being so open that you're gonna miss shit. Um, it's got a great character progression. The dungeons are relatively well done. That's like classic overall. 3D, my favorite 3D Legend of Zelda game. I'm gonna say it's a tie between Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
yeah.
That's it. Those are the best. Skyward Sword, like the problem with Legend of Zelda, the 3D Legend of Zelda games is that the team that makes these games gets too caught up on fucking a gimmick. The gimmick gets in the way of good gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, like Wind Waker, the gimmick was the ocean, and the ocean which got it's like they had the ocean, like it was boring traversing from point A to point B on the ocean. It got to be too much.
Yeah.
It's like this is boring.
Especially, especially when you got, when you had to look for those Triforce pieces.
Oh, so yeah, the Triumph Forks shit. Oh man, let me tell you something. That was such bullshit. And then when they re-released it, they still hadn't fixed that shitty ass side quest.
Yeah,
They still didn't fix it. It still was trash.
Yeah, it was, but they made it easier. I feel I made it tolerable, at least for me.
Let me
I gave
explain.
up
Okay?
on the game the first time I played.
There were
Yeah,
8 pieces that they broke the Triforce into to get the Triforce of Courage. Wouldn't it have made sense? Okay, 3 of the pieces would have been, okay, you have to catch this fish in the different parts of the ocean. Wouldn't it have made sense to make the other 5 be like mini dungeons you went down, and maybe like or the other 4 pieces to be mini dungeons you went down, and the 8th piece was an actual dungeon, like a real dungeon? That would have been cool. They didn't want to do that. They were like, we ain't doing all this shit. Fuck you.
Maybe
No.
maybe the Triforce pieces should have just been started in dungeon period, and it should have just been.
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes sense that the Triforce pieces would break apart because that's what the Triforce does in the Legend of Zelda lore. If you're not worthy, it leaves you. Fair enough, but I mean, it's the Legend of Zelda franchise under Nintendo is just a series of, for most of the games, is them trying something new and them basically being like either a gimmick that they double down on to the point where gameplay suffers. So Wind Waker and Skyward Sword, or people getting mad because because a game is too traditional. Twilight Princess. And I admit, Princess is basically a better version of Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, yeah.
It's better Ocarina of Time. But I have nothing against that because Ocarina of Time is like a 3D version of Link to the Past.
I mean, the sand dungeon is literally the forest dungeon in Ocarina of Time. The gimmick that they use in the sand dungeon, I think it's called the spirit dungeon. I'm not sure. And Twilight Princess, same gimmick.
Yeah,
they use
the Arbiter's Grounds where you have to use the spinning top thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Fight against Star Lord, but it's executed much better in Twilight Princess than it is in Ocarina of Time. Like I said, Twilight Princess is a better Ocarina of Time. Like all the shit is better executed.
Yeah. Twilight Princess is since the Ocarina of Time they wanted to make but couldn't because of
technological
restraints,
shortcomings. Yeah, it's like, we can't do this. This is a better, like the combat is better, the story is better. They got rid of annoying as fuck Navi, and instead you've got Midna, who's a much better companion.
Yeah.
Just like Twilight Princess is just, oh, it's better Ocarina of Time. Except they didn't call it better Ocarina of Time. It's Twilight Princess. You know. But yeah, yeah. I mean, look, listen, but I'm not gonna cast aspersions on people. It's like I like Breath of the Wild. Okay, good. You like Breath of the Wild. For me, I was kind of underwhelmed. But other people, they loved it. So, I'm not gonna get mad at someone because they like something that I didn't like. What I will say is be more critical and don't just accept the next game because you should hope for more. Okay,
Yeah.
you should wish for more. And
Yeah.
it sounds like to me what they're adding to this game is not what I would say is a better alternative to some of the shit they took out from previous Legend of Zelda games. But that's
Yeah.
just me, to each his own.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but going on to our next topic, Redfall is stuck at 30 FPS at launch on the Xbox because, well, we just didn't want to put in the effort to put in a performance mode. Uh, so, so here's so last week, the developers of Redfall announced that they're just going to have the quality mode at launch, and they're not going to have a performance mode. When for the longest time they were saying yes, this game's going to be a 60 FPS on the Xbox, and yes, they can run 60 FPS, and their trailers were at 60, and their gameplay footage was 60 FPS, and as well as Microsoft touted the Xbox Series X to be the most powerful console on the market, to be able to do a 4K 120 FPS, no sweat, and yeah, so people are upset. People are upset
Crying like babies, like little bitches.
because it's just like they've been
Crying.
doing this for about 15 years with games. About basically lying to you, saying, "Oh, this game is gonna look like this." One of the
Uh-huh.
biggest offenders I remember was Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah,
That
where they
game,
nerfed it to have console parity.
yeah,
So
it was
they nerfed the PC version to basically make it the same as the console version because they didn't want any. Actually, they delayed that game because they didn't want it launching at the same time as GTA 5. Um, what can I say? I'm going to disagree. I am not one of those people who's mad at them for making it 30 frames per second. Here's why. Clearly, this game has been in development for like what 6-7 years.
yeah,
Redfall.
it's been in development for a while. Yeah,
I guarantee you that this game began life as a multi-plat across PC, Xbox, and PS4. And I'm pretty sure that when ZeniMax was bought by uh, Microsoft, like that team who was working on the PS4 version just abandoned that and went all in on the thing. But from what I heard, Redfall from like the people, it's still got some issues with it. And so that team, like Arcane, is not a huge studio. They had to make a choice. They could either get this game up and running on the Xbox or get it up and running at 60 frames per second, plus all the other basic shit that they had to get running in that game. So they had to allocate the resources a certain way, and they said, "Well, we'll get it up and running on the Xbox Series X with 30 frames per second." Clearly, if you have it on PC, you can probably do something to get it up to 60. So once again, PC is where it's at.
yeah, exactly. Like,
So
I just
like here's what I'm gonna say: if you're playing this game on console and you're expecting it to have all the bells and whistles on console, you are an idiot. Stop it. Because it
yeah,
was never look, if you're playing games on console, you have to make sacrifices because it's on console. The only console manufacturer you can say you're getting the best version on console more often than not is Nintendo, because all they do is make games for console.
yeah,
But if you're like a Sony or Microsoft, then yeah, I mean, Like, no. The version they have on whatever is not going to be as good as what you're getting on PC, because your game wasn't made for console. It was made for PC. So calm down, take a deep breath, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
and
it's like, oh, it's 30 frames per second. Shut up. You're going to buy the game. The people who are going to buy this game are going to buy it regardless of what the FPS is. You and I both know, oh, how dare they? Man, shut up. You know, you're going to buy that damn game.
And another funny thing that happened is a bunch of Xbox fanboys got their panties in a wad because, well, they're like, oh, this is hypocritical because Tears of the Kingdom runs at 30 FPS. It's like, well, Nintendo, first of all,
The
they
Switch is a
install.
piece of shit.
Yeah,
The
first of
Switch is a
all,
piece of shit, and it's running tech that wasn't even top of the line 8 years ago.
yeah, it's yeah. First of all, Nintendo never touted the Switch to be this grandiose powerhouse, and two, Breath of the Wild was all or Tears of the Kingdom was always shown at 30 FPS every time we saw it, every trailer. So it's just kind of like, why what? You're just grasping at straws at this point. It's like, oh,
Let me reiterate: the Switch is a piece of shit. All right. If there is a third party, if there's a second party exclusive on the Switch, and it's also on PC, I get the PC version. Want to know why? Because the Switch version probably runs like ass.
Yeah, typically get
Okay.
the PC version as well. Yeah.
All right. So like you're comparing apples to oranges, literally. All right. It's like someone saying, "Hey, man, your Ford Pinto isn't as fast as my Shelby." No shit. Yeah, both may be made by Ford, but one is not like the other. One of these is not like the other. All right, okay. Calm your fucking ass down and stop being a bitch. All right, like this is just look. Listen, I feel for the Xbox fans. I understand where they're coming from, but ultimately, they're gonna get it anyway. So why are they complaining?
Yeah.
All right. And here's the thing: if you're playing it on a decent television, it's going to get upscaled to 60 frames anyway. So shut up.
Yeah, if you got one of
Like
those
if the refresh rate on your TV is 60 hertz, or sorry, 58 hertz, which I think most TVs in America are, it's going to be 60 frames anyway. So shut the fuck up. God damn. Always complaining. Bunch of bitches. I mean, this goes for console fanboys of all three stripes: Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. Shut the fuck up. You're gonna buy the shit anyway.
Yeah.
Stop whining.
Yeah.
It's 30 frames. You gonna play it anyway. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, if Starfield is 30 frames, people gonna buy it. Be quiet. Shut up. That's me imitating the Xbox fan base. Yeah, you gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly how they sound. You go around Xbox fanboys. That's me being facetious, folks. It's terrible. Anyway,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So I mean, we basically already covered the next topic, but yeah, people were not happy. I'm gonna check this game out on Game Pass to see how it is because I know they have IGN gameplay. T- gameplay.
of Redfall.
Yeah, and people were super disappointed. Half the time, a lot of these so-called gaming journalists end up being terrible at playing games. So I don't know what the
Yeah.
heck people were expecting.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until I see footage of the game from people who actually are good at playing video games before I judge this game.
Yeah, exactly.
With that being said, because I got to qualify that. With that being said, um, once I hear from more reputable sources or more experienced, it's not reputable, more experienced sources, people who have experience playing these types of games, then I'll be like, okay, I'll see what's going on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now when I see that, then I'll be like, okay, this game's gonna do, I personally wasn't really interested in, I personally wasn't really interested in Redfall. Like when I first heard about it, I'm like, oh, this sounds like it might be interesting. But then I heard about it has an always online connection, and it's like multiplayer, but also single player. I'm like, yes, if it was single player, I would be like really into it, and it didn't have the DRM, I'd be really into it. But the multiplayer aspect kind of just doesn't really interest me. But that's it. The idea. I'm glad Arcane's trying different things. I want this game to be moderately successful because there does need to be other IPs in gaming. Everything can't just revolve around the same 3 or 4 IPs over and over again.
yeah,
You need variety.
yeah.
Imagine how bad last gen would have been if there had been no Splatoon.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, people need to realize that and stop being all just so like, anti this and that and blah blah blah. It's like you need variety in your life. All right, you got to have, everything can't be built like, how many times can we? Because I mean, that's what we have right now. Everyone keeps on releasing the same shit because there's nothing else going on.
Yeah,
Like no one wants to come out with anything new. Everything has to be a tried and a tried and proven formula, and that in turn means that there's never anything different. There's no new ideas coming out.
yeah,
You know, I mean, we got the same thing in the movie industry, so I can't really, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
But yeah. So for next topic, Sega bought the
yeah, they
Angry
bought
Birds.
Rovio.
Yeah, the Angry Birds
Yeah,
studio for over $700 million.
yeah, yeah.
What is
Sega got
Sega
money
doing?
like that.
I get you.
Yeah, Sega got money like that. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Uh, Too bad they can't use that money to spend on games people actually want to play.
I mean, and the fact that they're buying Rovio, I'm like, you're buying Rovio. Angry Birds hasn't been relevant in years.
Yeah.
Like, Angry Birds hasn't been relevant in so long. Like, why are you? Why are you? Like, and they clarified it because I read an article when it was announced. They're like, well, we're getting Rovio because of their expertise in online gaming and stuff like that. I'm like, they made one game. Well, and spin-offs of that one game, and then they were bought by Activision, which fucked up because they made the Angry Birds. They made 2 Angry Birds movies after Angry Birds was no longer popular.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, uh, I want this to be successful because I want Activision to have a, you know, I mean, I want Sega to do something useful, but come on, man.
Yeah.
We all know what's going on here.
Yeah, they obviously
You
want
know, it's,
Yeah, they obviously want. They obviously want to get in on the action of games as a service. Uh,
Yeah.
Even though that's crashing, it's been crashing and burning around us for the past couple of
Yeah.
years. Past
Well,
year,
I mean,
actually.
the thing is, there's a few that are successful, but most of them are not.
Yeah.
Most of
Mhm.
them are not successful.
Yeah. The ones that haven't died are ones that have been around for at least the last probably 5 or so years. Uh,
You know, it's that damn Activision Blizzard King that just keeps on making it.
yeah.
Um, their ABK games are the ones that just keep on making it, but and Zynga shit. But by and large, most of it is just like you know, there's a few big ones that make it, and the rest of them kind of flourished for a while and then died. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I personally at this point am just like, I don't care.
And it's probably something to do with their super game that we've which is just a live service which is just a live service platform that they're building. They probably don't even really know what it is yet.
I think they just strung some. I think they just strung some shit together to make
Yeah.
it sound to make it sound impressive. We're making a super duper game. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
All
superest
right.
of duperest games. It's like, okay.
That's like saying that's like your parents say, "Hey, so how's that report going?" "Ah, I'm making the best report ever." Okay. That's basically what what Sega did.
Well, the problem is, it's like because of the mindset of this industry, um, people, I guess they have this idea that making games is in the classical sense of making video games is just unsustainable, and we got to make a game that we can just live off of forever. It's like it's just
People want that Fortnite
that's
money.
yeah. They saw what Fortnite was doing. They saw what Apex was doing, and they're like, "Hey, we want some of that action. We want a taste too." Uh, but it's like the thing about Fortnite is it wasn't doing anything when it came out.
No.
It wasn't until the Battlegrounds game until they completely changed their business model. Uh, when it started to do something because the thing that people don't know about Fortnite is it was out for a while.
Yeah, it was out for years.
Yeah, and it wasn't doing nothing until
Yeah.
so Battleground. I forgot the name of that game, but then they just kind of ripped off that model, and then it just became an overnight success.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing where I'm like, like I never got into Fortnite, but I know there's a lot of people who like Fortnite. I'm not one of those people. I just don't really give a shit about Fortnite.
Yeah,
Like if Fortnite was a person and someone said, "Hey, Fortnite died," I'd be like, "Sorry for his family, but I don't give a shit."
yeah,
you know. So, I mean, I understand where people are coming from. I understand that people like Fortnite. I'm one of those people. I don't really give a shit about Fortnite, as I said. But as far as Sega goes, with them wanting to create a mega game that they can make money off of for years and years and years, look, listen, Sega has had a rough go of it over the last few years. All right.
yeah,
Last 20, 30 years, Sega has not been doing well, right?
yeah,
I want Sega to do something. I want them to do something. I want them to get some. They got to get something going.
yeah.
But with that being said, I also just kind of you know, like I'm not enthralled with I'm not enthralled with the idea of Sega. If you get my drift, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's better stuff out there. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. But I mean, they've also proven when they bought stuff, like they bought what's it called? They bought Atlas. And you know, Atlas is they've left Atlas the fuck alone. So, you know,
Yeah.
it might not be terrible. I'm just saying it might not. Keyword might not be terrible. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I might be surprised, but I don't
You
know.
know.
It seems like they're just throwing a bunch of food ingredients together.
Yeah.
And
I mean, $700 million. They could have made 7 Persona. They could have made like 3 new Persona games with a budget of $100 million, and then 4 new Sonic games with a budget of $100 million, or like a 1 new Sonic game, a new Golden Axe, a big budget Golden Axe. Like they could have made so much new shit. Why are you buying? But I guess they're thinking they can make more money with, you know, with this stuff. I mean,
yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere, and it just seemed a little strange, just a little strange. Um, in other news, the Mario movie came out, and it seems like it's on its on its way to make $1 billion. It's made over
yep,
$640 million, and
yep.
what's gonna happen now is like other companies are probably gonna.
Make
It's like
movies.
we want a taste of that Nintendo money. We're
Yeah,
gonna sign up.
yeah. They're gonna make more movies. And here's all I got to say about it. Do I feel like okay? Am I happy that the Mario movie made money? I mean, I'm glad that. Well, here's the thing: Nintendo's got to split that money with Universal, and like a lot of money. So Nintendo's probably making like maybe 250 million off of that billion,
Yeah,
three
yeah,
hundred. But that's still a lot of money. All right,
yeah,
don't get it twisted. If I had $3 million, I'd be like, okay, I'm good. I don't, you know.
yeah,
But 300 million. But here's what I'll say: the Mario movie was very much influenced by the games. Mario games don't have a very light story. It's the lightest, flimsiest story.
yeah,
The real meat and potatoes of a Mario game is the gameplay.
yeah,
It's always been the gameplay. Story is, I would argue and say the best story that we've had in a Mario game is Mario Galaxy 1.
yeah,
That's it. Every other Mario game is there's a flimsy story in order for you to go on an adventure and do all this wacky shit. That's it.
yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very slim story. My problem with the Mario movie is just that I'm like, man, if y'all had just had a little bit of grit to this, it could have been a better movie. But obviously, you know, people took their little kids to see this, and little kids didn't want any grit. They wanted something, it had a lot of nostalgia callbacks. They have the fucking DK rap in this movie. The DK rap is in this movie.
wow, wow.
When
That's funny.
DK shows up, he's finally back. He's coming for you. It's DK, Donkey Kong. I mean, it opens up with the Super Mario Brothers Super Show cover of that
Yeah,
theme song from 1989. Like
yeah,
Mario and his brother Luigi's theme song for their commercial. It's the Super Mario Brothers,
yeah.
it's time for the Super Mario Brothers,
Yep. Yeah.
and we're the Mario Brothers, and Plummet's the game. And like others, we do it we're not in it for fame. It's like really. And here's the thing, right? I grew up watching that show. Okay. So I watched that shit. I'm already like, yeah. The lady who does the voice, the only thing you didn't drain is my bank account. That's the lady who did the voice of Princess Peach and from the cartoon show. I'm like, well, if you could get her, why the fuck did you get Anya Taylor-Joy? Like, you could have just had her do the. Y'all could have saved some money right there.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know why they just don't use
But that's
professional voice
Illumination.
actors. But,
Illumination likes to use actors that are on Universal's payroll. Because then, oh, we've got Steve Carell, we've got Chris Pratt, we've got this person. I'm like,
yeah, I've
It's
always
because
found that.
you can tell some of these people are not voice actors.
Yeah, it's like I've voice acting is a different animal when it comes to acting. Because yeah, I just always wondering. I always wondered why they don't really lean on. Well, actually, I do know the answer to that question. Is because it's a way to get people into the movie. But I mean, you figure the performance should be the reason people come to the movie.
Here's what I'm going to say. I would say that there are some actors who can do the crossover. Robin Williams could do the crossover. Danny DeVito can do the crossover. He was the voice of the Lorax in the Lorax, the animated Lorax. So there are some actors who can do on TV roles and animated roles, no problem.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is not one of them. Okay. He sounds like Chris Pratt. It's Chris Pratt. It's like, yeah, it's Chris Pratt. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm not impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's good to see that this is successful. It's good to see that all these video game tie-in movies, they're not necessarily tie-in movies,
That's
but these
not good,
video.
man. Because for every Mario, we're gonna get tons and tons of shitty ones, and you know this. You know we're gonna get a glut of shitty video game based movies.
For every decent Marvel movie, we're gonna get three DC movies, three bad DC movies. Okay,
And you
maybe
know
it's not
this.
that.
You know it's good. You know that's what's gonna happen. Remember when everyone, because Marvel shit was connected, they're like, we're gonna create our own universe. No, please don't. Yeah, we are. No, please, for the love of God, don't do this. No, stop. No.
Yeah,
Please, God, no. Don't do this. Don't do this.
yeah,
Please, for the love of God, don't do this. Please. Please don't do this. Please. No, stop. Dear God, no.
yeah,
No. Don't. Stop. That's what we're going to get, folks. Lots and lots of shit that no one wanted. So be prepared for a glut of video game movies that no one fucking asked for that are going to do. Some might be decent. Most of them will be shit.
yeah.
I'm just going to tell you right now. Most of them will be absolutely trash.
Yeah. 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 You are gonna see a lot of garbage, but the movies that we have gotten so far have been relatively well received by maybe not so much by the critics, but just by people who enjoy the franchises that these movies are based off of. So, but yeah, we're gonna go since these movies have done well. The Sonic movie, the
Well,
Pikachu
the
movie.
Sonic movie, the Pikachu movie, the Mario movie.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that if Nintendo does a Metroid, lets Metroid get adapted. I hope they don't do a movie. I hope they do a TV show,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
and I
TV
hope they
shows.
keep. Yeah, but I've heard some stupid shit. Like I heard someone say, the top 10 risks they should have made in the Mario movie. They should have had Charles Martinet do the voice. I'm like, are you fucking insane? I don't like hearing Charles Martinet's voice for Mario in the games, much less having to hear an hour and a half of yeah, woohoo, yeah, woohoo. If I had to hear that, I would have eaten a bullet on the 30-minute mark. Be like,
Yeah.
someone give me a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That man shot himself because he can't. Because I hate that fucking voice. Charles Martinet's Mario voice is so annoying. It's so annoying.
it's to me it's fine for what it is like, but to hear it in the movie would be obnoxious. I do agree.
For 90 minutes? Hell
Yeah.
no.
90
Hell
minutes,
no. Yeah, well, like I said, if they were gonna get a voice actor, I would have loved to have. I would have loved if they had made Mario older and made Danny DeVito his voice.
Yeah.
Luigi, what do you go? Or even an unknown person could do kind of a Brooklyn Italian accent. Luigi over here. Hey, Luigi, hand me that pipe wrench. I gotta fix this. Hey, like I would have enjoyed that. That would have been fun. No, we got Chris Pratt. I'm Mario. I don't like eating mushrooms. Oh, but I ate a mushroom. I'm Big Mario now. That's why I was short my whole life. I didn't eat mushrooms. That's fucking stupid. Sorry. Go watch the movie, man. It's if Chris Pratt's voice acting doesn't bother you, you'll enjoy it. It'll be a nice little vacation from reality.
Yeah.
Because it looks gorgeous. It's just the story is kind of shit. But I mean, that's every Mario game. Every Mario game is the story is kind of shit, except for Mario Galaxy 1.
If they do something with either Zelda or Metroid, mostly Metroid, Metroid probably have to go the Samurai Jack route where it's just like very little dialogue, a lot of the storytelling is done through the animation or just through it's just because of the whole isolation aspect of Metroid.
I'll keep it 100%. I'm just one of those people that I don't want Link to talk. I don't want Samus to talk. Samus can talk, but she's very stoic, which I prefer Samus to be stoic, where she does not talk very often. Her actions show you what she's thinking, right? So for that, like, if you're gonna do a Legend of Zelda movie, like, I don't want them to do a Legend of Zelda movie because they just fuck it up. The hallmark of Legend of Zelda is your journey as Link, not them telling you the story. However, if they did like a mini series on Netflix or a streaming service where it's like you're in the world of Legend of Zelda from someone else's point of view, and you're hearing about Link doing all this cool shit, that'd be cool. But that takes clever writing, which is something Nintendo is not good at.
Yeah.
And they're not going to they're not going to go with someone who is good at clever writing.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you got any free topics before we close out the show?
I mean, I don't know, man. I got no free topics. We covered a lot of stuff I was going to cover. I got nothing except let's see. Let me take a look at something that might pique my interest. Oh, Dead Island 2 apparently is kind of shit.
I've heard. I don't know who I heard it from, but I heard it's not flying on all cylinders.
Yeah. It probably needed another year or two in the oven.
Apparently, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't interested, like, because the game had just been, like, no one had been playing it for such a long-ass time that I'm like, I mean, like, that game had been in development for so fucking long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it kind of just was like, okay, well, what are you going to do now? So, at this point, I don't have any real hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got no hope. I got no hope. So, because the original Dead Island was you essentially went from a series of sandboxes from point A to point B to point C, fighting your way to, a certain point. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And now it's some other shit. It's not,
Yeah. Well, we'll see when the final product comes out.
Well, I mean, Dead Island's already apparently it's about to come out. It's just apparently not going to be like from what I heard, it's not very good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like underwhelming, if you will. Um, you know, I wasn't gonna get it anyway because I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah. I've never really been into stuff like that.
The first Dead Island was fun, but not like, you know, I don't think the second one's gonna be very good though.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it just wasn't it wasn't great. So,
Anyway,
but that's my opinion.
my free topic is that the Nintendo the Nintendo's the Nintendo enforcement brigade has been going after people pretty heavily with that Bowser guy. He's out of jail now, and he has to pretty much pay back all that money, the $10 million, and he'll be paying that off for the rest of his life.
Functionally, he's gonna be broke for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
He's
pretty much.
gonna be broke. Every dollar he makes, a portion of that is gonna have to go to Nintendo for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Functionally speaking.
There's a guy that got fired for releasing the or don't releasing the Breath of the Wild OLED Switch. Back it was those images released back in December. Um,
He fucked up. He shouldn't have done that.
yeah, it's just like people. I know people are like, "Oh, Nintendo's going after these people too hard," but
These
um,
people wanted to get their they wanted to get there first so they could get views and all that bullshit. Not
yeah,
realizing that you're fucking with a multi-billion-dollar company's money. And all Nintendo does, their primary thing is money. And they like here's the thing, they don't have a handheld anymore where they could like fall back on shit. Or I should say they don't have a console anymore. The Switch is their handheld. So it's not like they have multiple areas to get money from. And you fucking with their money. I don't know what you thought you could fuck with their money and they were gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck with our money.
yeah, yeah. I think maybe the sort of going after people for modding their games. I think it's a little much, but
Yeah.
like
You go after Nintendo for modding your game. Nintendo going after modders, that's bullshit.
yeah,
But if you leaked, if you're leaking shit that was told in kind of like confidence, you but that's on you, man.
yeah. The guy had to say, and people. He might be a younger guy, but people just don't understand. It's like he was the GameStop employee that ended up getting fired for leaking that stuff. It's like, man, now my favorite company, now my favorite company hates me. It's like these companies aren't your friends, guys. Like
No, they're there for
they're not
money.
your
I don't know.
friends.
I don't know why people don't understand this. Look, Nintendo exists to make money. They are a publicly traded company in Japan. They exist to make money.
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
not understand that they exist to make money? Everything they do, everything Nintendo does is to make money.
Yeah,
Do you not understand that?
yeah, exactly.
Okay? It's the reason why I don't really have a lot of faith in um it's the reason why I don't have a lot of faith in uh it's the reason why I don't have a lot of faith in Breath of the Wild 2 because they have no incentive to make that game have more traditional. aspects of to the franchise. No incentive because the first one sold really well.
Yeah.
There's zero fucking incentive. So why the fuck? Like, I'm not all a gaga about this game.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I think again I will agree with people on the modder situation, but
Yeah.
I disagree with people when it comes to leaking images and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just
Them
like,
going after modders is bullshit. Them going after people leaking shit that was like shit that's not supposed to be out yet.
yeah,
Then that's on you, man. I'm sorry. Like you fucked up. That's not them. That's you. You know, that's you did that. You shouldn't have done that.
yeah, yeah.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty insane.
You know. Oh, why'd they do that? Why'd they sue me? Cause you broke the NDA.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you had access to privy information and you put it out there when you weren't supposed to, and now you're going to get mad when the company, the multi-billion-dollar company whose money you just fucked with, you know, like I don't understand some of these fucking people.
yeah. Exactly. I'll save my other free topic for tomorrow. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I have.
All right.
Anything else you wanna pimp out before we call it a night?
Yeah, I'll pimp out some stuff. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. BS Busters is every Wednesday, 7:30 to typically 9, but now since we just the two of us, I'm trying to get another person on board. It's 7:30 to 8:30. I'm also in the process of getting a panel together to do a long form Fallout 4 podcast. Look forward to that. I'm trying to get everything together for that. That's going to be fun. Look forward to that. But that's it. That's all I got to say.
This commercial from Lisa, you have another
Anyone's
sponsor.
captive.
Mr. Red Fox, the dog, and Vlad,
Never
watch the
again.
uploads. Have a good week. Have a good night.
Red pills, blue pills,
Thank you guys
prolonged
next week.
sabbatical.
Peace.